Hello, hello. Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy. So before starting today's session, I would like to have the input as well as the concurrence regarding the quality of video as well as audio. If it has been perfect, just write perfect over the live chat and then we are going to start today's session. Agenda behind today's video has been crisp clear and that had been clearly written over the thumbnail, and now we are going to take few number of numericals based on the concept of the limits, and you can see there have been the plenty number of questions which are been taken from the concept of limit. And from here onwards, whenever I would take the classes on engineering mathematics, we would take a plenty number of questions from the individual topic. So tell me whether the quality of video and audio is it been perfect or not. Yes. So I think in the same sequence, it has been the right time. I should take few number of questions based on the concept of limit. So let me take the first question which had come in mining engineering year of 2017. Let me bring this question towards working board and we will try to smash this problem there only. So here comes the question. So read this problem carefully and tell me what could have been the best most answer for this given question. See what the problem states. Which one of the following plots represents the relationship between xy is equals to c, where the c is being a positive constant? For the each and individual question, I am going to give you the 3 minutes span of time. So your 3 minutes starts now. Read the problem carefully and tell me what could have been the best most answer. Read the problem carefully and tell me what could have been the best most answer. Read it carefully and tell me what could have been the best most answer for this given question. Which one of the following plot represents the relationship between x, y is equals to constant, where the c is being a positive real quantity? Read it carefully. So tell me what could have been the best most answer for this given question. I need the answer from each one of you. Each one of you. Tell me. Tell me what would be the best most answer for this given question. I need the answer from each one of you. What must have been the best most answer for this given question? So probably within 2 minutes of time, you must have given the answer for this given question. Probably this structure you must have seen earlier. This has been a type of rectangular hyperbola. Xy is equals to c. I could have taken y is equals to c divided by x, where the c is been a positive real quantity at it has been given. So y could have been written as c over x. C could have been taken as 1, 2, whatever it might be. Anyways, for the better understanding, I could have taken this as a plus 1. At least one important conclusion we can deduce out of this equation has been, whenever the value of x is being fed as positive, the value of y would also be positive. And at the same time, whenever the value of x has been fed negative, the y would always be negative. Virtually speaking, whenever the value of x has been positive, the value of y is positive, and x has been negative, value of y is also been negative. That means y is equals to 1 upon x is going to get prevalent in first and third quadrant, because in first and third quadrant, the value of x and y are being consequently positive as well as negative. So obviously, this has been discarded because it is in first and second quadrant, and similarly this has also been discarded because it has been second and fourth quadrant. So you had just been left out with this and this. Anyways, it's been an equation of a straight line where this is been y is equals to mx plus c. Anyways, y is equals to x. So obviously this is also been discarded. The second important point which we can deduce out of this calculation is being, see, when the value of x has been increasing, what had been happening, the value of y has to decrease. So that is why in positive sense of x, if the x has been increasing, the value of y is supposed to decrease. And even at x is equals to 0, the function will not be continuous. As you can see very well, if you'll calculate limit x tends to 0 minus of 1 upon x, this has to be minus infinity, and we will feed limit x tends to 0 plus 1 upon x, this will be plus of infinity. And that had been happening over here. You can see very well, when we will be reaching towards x is equal to 0 from left hand side, that is going to be 0 minus. It had been traveling towards minus infinity, and if we'll move from right hand side, we will connect ourselves at 0 plus, we will be reaching somewhere at plus infinity. And as the value of x has been increasing, the value of y has been decreasing. This has been the bestmost answer. This has been the bestmost answer. So this thing must be clear to all of us. This thing must be clear to all of us. Till this point, I don't find any of the student would have any kind of doubt now. The next important point could have been rather writing y is equals to, sorry, xy is equals to c, where the c has been a positive value. If they had been taken the problem in such that the c has been a negative real quantity, in that case, y is going to be c divided by x. And now what had happening? If x has been positive, y would be negative, and similarly, if the x has been negative, y is going to be positive. In that case, the D is going to be the appropriate most answer. Anyways, how many of us had given the correct most answer for this given question? Asutosh Saxena, the yes, C has been the best most answer. This has been the equation of yx is equals to c, where the c has been negative. This has been the equation of y is equals to magnitude of x, and this has been the equation of y is equals to mx plus c, where the m has been positive in nature. So this thought process must be there within all of us. Yes. So I think it's been the right time. I should also be taking the next question as well. So here comes the next question. Which one should we take? Yes, I would be taking this one. And that comes the question number 27 in my book, workbook. Let me take this question towards working board, and we will try to smash this problem out. This had been experienced by the mechanical engineers in year of 2016. Read it carefully. And tell me what would be the best most answer. Again, 3-minute time is been given for you guys. So your timer starts now. Read this problem carefully and tell me what would have been the best most answer. Read the problem carefully and tell me what would have been the best most answer for this given question. The problem states the limit x has been tending towards 0. Ln of 1 plus 4x divided by e to the power of 3x minus of 1 is equals to. Tell me what would be the best most answer for this given question. What would be the best most answer for this given question? Read it carefully and then tell me the answer. The student who are not able to comment, they had to subscribe our channel, and within 20 minutes span of time, they would be able to give the reply as well as the input to the voice chat as well. Tell me what would be the best most answer. Tell me. Anyways, let me focus over this question. When we feed x is equals to 0, this becomes 1 plus 4 into 0, that has been 1 only. Ln of 1 stands for 0. And similarly, when we feed e to the power of 0, that has been 1. 1 minus of 1 is again been 0. So virtually speaking, when we feed x is equals to 0 towards numerator as well as denominator, we find the given function had a problem of 0 by 0, which has been indeterminate in case. And whenever you have a problem with 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity, easily that problem could have been smashed with the help of L'Hospital rule, and that is what I have been doing over here. So what I would do, I would take the differentiation. The differentiation part must have been clear to all of us. How we will take its differentiation? See, the differentiation of ln of x used to be 1 upon x, but instead the x here we had a 1 upon 1 plus 4x. Yes. This has been the case. This has been the case. And then we will take a differentiation of 1 plus 4x as well. And that is been 4 actually. That would be 4 actually. Yes. And towards denominator side also we will be taking the same fundamental. And here it goes 3 into e to the power of 3x. The differentiation of 1 is just been 0. And again we will feed limit x tends to 0. Or I should say the x would be fed as 0. And once we do so, the result which we are expecting is been, just a minute, the result which we are expecting is been, see, when we will feeding x is equals to 0, that becomes 0. Virtually speaking, it is been 4 divided by of 1 into 3. So the answer which we are expecting in this given question is been 4 divided by 3. 4 divided by 3 has been the best most answer. 4 divided by 3 is going to be the best most answer. How many of us must have given this answer? How many? Here, try to give the answer, no? Then only you will be feeling connected like. Yes. So in the same sequence, I think it's been the right time I should also be taking the next question as well. So in the same sequence, I would be taking the next question. It's almost same, but I won't be able to say that it's been exactly same, but almost same. Yes. It's been 29th. Almost the concept of the problem has been very same as we had used earlier. Read the problem carefully. It had already been asked in production engineering in year of 2016. The problem had been framed by IISc Bangalore. Read this problem carefully and tell me what would have been the best most answer. And your time for 3 minutes starts now. Time for 3 minutes starts now. The value of limit x tends to 0 of e to the power of x minus of 1 divided by sine of x is equals to. Tell me what could have been the best most answer for this given question. What is going to be the answer for this given question? I would like to have the input from each one of you. Each one of you, tell me what would be the best most answer for this given question. Asutosh, tell me what would be the answer. Anyways, although I had given the 3 minutes for this kind of question, but this kind of question mostly would be asked for 1 mark and definitely will not take more than 1 minute if the concepts of the L'Hospital rule is been easily known to us. Anyways, the same process is getting followed. See what happens. As far as the numerator is being concerned, e to the power of x minus of 1, it is going to be a continuous function in entire region of x. And at the same time, sine of x is also being a continuous function in entire region of x-axis. What does it actually mean of it? That means if you'll find its limit at x is equals to 0, straight away you could have found its value at x is equals to 0 itself, because as the function is being continuous at every point over the x-axis including x is equals to 0, its left hand limit, right hand limit, and the worth of the function at x is equals to 0 is going to be quite same. So many of the times I had seen most of the students, what they do, either they have been dealing with the limit, they do not actually feel the meaning of limit. What they would do, okay sir, x has been tending towards 0, so we will feed e to the power of 0. No, my dear friend, it is trying to go towards 0. It had not exactly reached to 0. Either if you go from left hand side, it will stop itself at 0 minus, and if you come down from the right hand side, it would stop itself at 0 plus. Did you understand what I am saying? But rather writing LHL or RHL, why don't we write the worth of the function at x is equals to 0? Yes, you can, but the function has to be continuous at x is equals to 0. And yes, e to the power of x minus 1 and sine of x is being continuous. So rather writing here and there, I straight write this as e to the power of 0 minus of 1 divided by of sine of 0. And this is been the condition of 0 by 0, which is been indeterminate. That means this result must have been fallen or can fall in any of the direction. Can fall in any of the direction. So now what I have been doing over here. So here comes limit x tends to 0. We will take a differentiation at numerator and denominator. So the result which is expected to come, it's been e to the power of x, and here comes cos of x, and here comes cos of x. So here it becomes limit x tends to 0. And now we can feed x is equals to 0 at numerator and denominator. Why so? Because again the function which we had over the numerator and denominator are been continuous function in entire region of x, including x is equals to 0. So rather calculating LHL, RHL, I could have straight away found the value of the worth at x is equals to 0 itself. So that's been the point of concern. The student think that, okay sir, we are been finding the worth of the function at x is equals to 0. No, limit states you have been trying to go to 0, but exactly you didn't reach to 0. But as e to the power of x and cos of x has been a continuous function at x is equals to 0, rather calculating left hand limit, right hand limit, why don't we calculate the component at x is equals to 0 itself? So yes, here it becomes e to the power of 0, and at denominator it is been cos of 0. Virtually speaking, at numerator it is been 1, and at denominator it is been 1. The worth which we are supposed to get, it's been simply 1. The worth which we are supposed to get, it's been simply 1. The worth is been 1. The 1 has been the best most answer. Do you have a clear-cut idea about it? Yes, sir. So in the same sequence, I think has been the right time. I should also be taking the next question as well. So better to take a question which had a little bit different chronology. Ah, yeah. Here goes the next question. Here goes the next question. This question is being asked in production engineering year of 2016. The problem was framed by IISc Bangalore. Read the problem carefully. Limit x tends to 0, e to the power of 5x minus of 1 divided by x raised to the power of 2 is equals to. Again, the problem is almost same. Once you'll feed x is equals to 0, it becomes 1 minus 1 divided by 0. Virtually speaking, 0 by 0. But this square term, no. Just you had to adjust this square term, and then you had to get its answer as well. Tell me, what would have been the best most answer? What would have been the best most answer? Read it carefully and tell me what would have been the best most answer. Read it carefully and tell me what would have been the best most answer. I need the input from each one of you. So again, the bandwidth of 3 minutes has been allocated for this question, and your timer starts now. Read it carefully and tell me what could have been the best most answer for this given question. And I would request to each one of you, try to give the answer so that I would feel connecting with you guys. For that, you have to just subscribe our channel, and once the subscription is done, after 20 minutes you will be eligible for putting any kind of effort over the live chat. So I would request to each one of you, the student who are been following me or who are supposed to follow me, they should subscribe this channel right now. Tell me, what would have been the best most answer, or what will be the best most answer? My dear friends, just try to understand in this way. If the function is been continuous at any point A, even its square would always be continuous at any cost. That is for sure. But square root is not been the same. If you want, I can give an example. Like if x is being a continuous function, even the x square is also going to be a continuous function in entire region of x. Even sometime you will see root over of x has not been continuous in an entire region of x. At x is equals to 0 minus onwards, it becomes complex, or I can say at x is equals to 0, it's been a discontinuous. But its square will make it continuous. So one thing has been quite sure, if the function f of x has been continuous, at a certain point of observation, its square would always be continuous. Its square would always be continuous. So I would say if f of x has been continuous, f of x raised to the power of 2 would also be continuous. Would also be continuous. That is for sure. So taking the reference of this concept, I could have smashed this problem out. What I am saying for this given question, why don't we calculate the worth of the function at x is equals to 0? Obviously, we will be getting certain value and we'll just be raised up with the 2. And that has been happening, my dear friend. Nothing great, nothing new. Just. So that is what we have been doing. And you can see very well, e to the power of 5x minus of 1, it has been a continuous function at x is equals to 0. X being a polynomial, it is going to be a continuous function at x is equals to 0. So rather calculating its limit, I could have calculated its worth itself at x is equals to 0, and that I have done. So here it becomes e to the power of 5x, that has been 1, minus of 1, and here it has been 1. So this has been case of 0 of 0. So rather focusing over this complete square and complete square value, you could have calculated its differentiation and differentiation separately, and end of the day the square would be raised up. Anyways, what had been the conclusion out of it? What had been the conclusion out of it? And the important conclusion has to be dedicated or deduced over here, and that has been, if limit x tends to a of f of x, let's take is being b, in that case limit x tends to a of f of x raised to the power of 2, and as at x is equals to a, the limit has been calculated, that means the function was found, limit existence at x is equals, so here it is just been b square, here it is just been b square. Agreed? So that is what we have been doing. We will take this structure once again, we will take its differentiation. So the 5 would come out, we will keep x is equal to 0. So virtually speaking, it has been 5 into e to the power of 0, and that has been 5 only. And towards denominator, x has been differentiated, that has been 1, and that has been raised up with 2, and the result has been 25. Result has been 25. 25 is going to be the best most answer for this given question. 25. How many of us must have given the answer for this given question? I want the answer from each one of you. What you guys have been doing here? This is not the correct way, no? No. This has not been the correct way. I want the input from each one of you. Yes. I would request to each one of you. What I'm saying, I would request to each one of you, the student who had not been enrolled with any of the paid course, this should go ahead with our paid course, such a good content with affordable most cost. Anyways, now this complete slide has been updated. I will show you that as well. So here with just the from 15th of December, the Pratigya batch had started. And keep in mind, all of the brains, the teachers who can really give you the best of the best content are been there within this part of course. Yes, the batch has already been begun by Suja sir, and the code which you had to use while choosing or purchasing this course has been GA1111. Agreed? And the subject had been started from 15th of December by Suja sir, and exactly at 7 p.m. So the amount which you have been paying, just 5,499 rupees, 7,499 rupees. So I think it's been the right time I should show you the new slide which had already come. Just a minute, where it is been. This has been updated a bit, and even further the cost has been reduced. Let me show you that as well. So here comes the next slide. Just a minute. This one. If you'll talk about the result which we had produced this year in EAC Engineering Services Examination for electrical and electronics has been AIR 7, 10, 11, 13 and 21. 21. And that is what I was talking about, the Pradikya batch, which has already been begun from 15th of December by Suja sir at precisely 7 p.m. And if you want to have on board with us, the code which you guys have been using is been GA1111. Then the amount of money which you guys have been paying here, it's been least actually. If you'll take a reference of this worth of amount, no, approximately 1 to 1 year, 1 to 1.5 year back, no, we were charging, or the in general, one subject is being charged this much, and from this much amount of money you have been offered the complete course. You have been offered the complete course. The amount is been 4,705 and 6,416. 16. Yes. Anyways, if you want to onboard with us with our recorded course, for mechanical more than 1300, civil more than 1300, for electrical more than 1500, for the electronics more than 1400, and similarly for civil computer science and IT more than 1100. The amount of money which you guys have been paying has been least, I can say. Even if you'll go for a party and all, no, you will be spending more, 3421. And similarly for the 30 months, what does it mean by 15 months, 13 months? The student who have been appearing or who have been aiming for GATE 2024, approximately 12 to 13 months have been left. And similarly students who have been aiming for 2025, they must have go ahead with this as well. They must have to go ahead with this as well. Yes. Here comes the hour of content as it had been communicated earlier. GATE Mechanical English, GATE Civil Engineering English, GATE Electrical English, GATE Electronics English, GATE Computer Science and IT. The hour of time which you guys have been spending with us has been more than 700, more than 900, more than 1000, more than 900, more than 900. This much effort has been put in. Yes. Anyways, let me come back to my working board now. Let me come back to my working board now. So let me take a next question. Let me take a next question and then we will try to smash this problem out. Where should I write that? Where should I write that? It's been like this. It's been like this. This one. Rarely this kind of the questions are being asked. Usually the question which are been getting framed over the GATE examination that consist of an exact value. But here there had been a fear that the given function may not exist its limit at x is equals to 0. Read this problem carefully and tell me what would have been the best most answer for this given question. And your timer starts now. Your timer starts now. Read it carefully and tell me what could have been the best most answer. Read it carefully and tell me what could have been the best most answer. Limit x tends to 0, x times of sine of 1 upon x. Sine of 1 upon x. Tell me what would have been the best most answer. What would have been the best most answer over this given question? For this given question. Tell me. What kind of structure it had been? Yeah, see. Tell me, what about the existence of the limit at x is equals to 0? Whether it does exist, or had it been a abrupt change at x is equals to 0? Had it been an abrupt change at x is equals to 0? Deliberately, I had been keep expanding over the y-axis for getting a better understanding of this given problem. Let me expand the x-axis as well. Tell me, what would have been the best most answer? What would have been the best most answer? This has been a problem over here. This has been a problem over here. Tell me, what would have been the best most answer for this given question? For this given question, I want the input from each one of you. And that is been limit x tends to 0 over x sine of 1 upon x. X sine 1 upon x. I need the answer from each one of you. Tell me what could have been the best most answer for this given question. So let me give you approximately 2 minutes. Tell me what could have been the answer for this given question. What could have been the answer for this given question? I want the input from each one of you. And that has been infinity, that has been 1, that has been 0 and does not exist. Anyways, once you'll focus over x is equal to 0, no? One thing has been quite sure, it could have been anything apart from infinity and 1. Infinity and 1. Tell me what would be the answer for this given question. What would be the answer for this given question? Tell me what would be the answer for this given question. I want the input from each one of you. I want the input from each one of you. What could have been the answer which you guys must have been given for this given question? Which you guys must have been given for this given question. Read this problem carefully and then tell me the answer. Limit x tends to sine of 1 upon x. And this has been the curve for that actually. This one. My dear friend, just try to understand in this way. This could have been any garbage value. This could have been any garbage value, but one thing has been quite sure. This value can never go beyond minus 1 to plus 1. Minus 1 to plus 1. That is for sure. Whether it's been the infinity, plus infinity, minus infinity. But as the value of x is being multiplied with 0, the answer which we get, it's been b only. So the b is going to be the best most answer. And this has been a kind of question where the major of the student may find the difficulty. Anyways, read this problem carefully and tell me whether you have been getting the same answer or you have been getting something else. You have been getting something else. That also you have to focus now. Tell me, what would have been the best most answer? So let me take the problem of this question as well. Tell me, what must have been the best most answer for this given question? What must have been the answer for this given question? Okay, so I think this must have been clear to all of us. This must have been clear to all of us. In the same sequence, I think it's been the right time. I should be taking few more number of questions as well. So here comes the next question. Which one I should take? This kind of questions are already been taken where we find or we make a case of 0 by 0. It's already been taken actually. Let me focus on the question number 44. It's almost same, but okay, we'll take this as well. We will take this as well. And here comes the question number 44. Here comes the question number 44. Read it carefully and tell me what would have been the best most answer. Tell me. Tell me what would be the best most answer for this given question. I would like to have the input from each one of you. Tell me, I need the input from each one of you. Maximum 2 minutes I would be giving for this question, and your time starts now. Read it carefully and then tell me what could have been the best most answer. Tell me, I had already been come towards left hand side so that you get more space. Tell me what had been the best most answer for this given question. I would like to have the input from each one of you. Anyways, we will do one thing. We will continue this class from tomorrow onwards. So be connected with us, and I would request to each one of you, whenever you have been live, no, try to give the comment as possible as possible. Yes. Bye bye. Take care.